Hi, how is everyone today? I've discovered a few things putting those puzzle pieces together in the last couple of days. Actually, it's been about a week or two, but it really came together in the last couple of days. I was talking to Arthur and Wendy, and they put a new spin and perspective on things, and so we're going to talk about that now. Of course, I've done more diagrams. I guess the first thing we're going to talk about, and this is going to correlate into what's going on into our reality, and then I'm going to dive really deep into, I don't even know if I should say it yet, the skinwalker vampires running our reality. But let's start with this. That's to come. Please stick around and watch this entire video. I'm going to intertwine it into each other. Okay, so this is my first diagram that I'm going to be talking about. And this is our natural spiral reality. Remember, I always say there's two realities coexisting here. There's the Metatronic AI Fibonacci reality, and then there's the spiral natural reality. And this is breaking it down. First, I will say 4 things that this spiral is about. Consciousness defines time. So consciousness defines time. Frequency defines space. Let me say that again. Frequency defines space. Each loop in the spiral carries all frequencies. So in each loop, it carries every frequency in each preceding loop in the spiral of our existence that we're going through. And then last, the spiral is but a fractal, a single fractal of multiple realities. Now that's a big one. So basically, down here is how it runs. Think of this as a 3D model. So Y, negative and positive, up and down, if you want to look at it that way. X, which would be negative and positive. And then Z, which is negative and positive. Z would be the one that goes out towards you like this, because it's 3D. So basically, the axis of X and Z equals space and frequency. And down here, the axis of Y equals time and consciousness. This is how it's actually broken down in a diagram of our reality. Now let's move to the next one. This is our spiral fractal. Every one of these little symbols here is exactly this right here, how it's broken down. So you can see on the spiral that each one carries all the frequencies all the times. And there you go. And this is a huge representation of that. Now here's the next one. We always have the greater than symbol getting smaller, 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 smaller. So Wendy had asked me, where do we lie in this fractal? And I actually saw that it was down here, not up here. This is where we entered in. And where are we going? Smaller, 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 smaller. Inner space. We're going deeper into inner space. And I thought that was really interesting. So it's also for time. On the very top, 1 minute equals 1 year. And that's why we have the time dilation. And then I'm going to post all of these so you can study them and look at them. Now, knowing this, here we go. And this is what I really, really wanted to talk about. That is the basis of your reality, the construct of your reality. Now, we have to look into what is this construct about. You know, I always say this is a simulation. We are living in a simulation. And you know I've been talking about the brain and spinal cords. I also talk about the bigger earth, and the bigger earth have domes just like this one on top of it. And then you have to look and see how many domes are on the outside of this. And I had talked about in those domes, you have one big main brain with the spinal cord, which was the fallen ones, which were from the crystalline city beings. You can call them the Anuna, the Anunnaki, or what have you. But they were here in almost non-corporeal form at one time. And of course, they wanted to have a more 3D experience, so they fell into 3D. And then at that point, they became more human-like, and they became very corrupt because they became vulnerable. So I started looking into what this was all about. Why are we going through this? Why is this being done to all the sheep? And this morning, I popped on my phone, and Ken Wheeler, which is Apothecaris channel, and he was talking about there were 4 types of scenarios going on here, beings, if you like. He said the first one was landowners. That would be your cabal, what have you. The next one would be the sheep. Bah, that's most of everybody else. Then you have the sheep herders, which are the sheepdogs. And they're your policing system, military, police, what have you, to keep the sheep in order, but also to keep the sheep away from what? The wolves. Who are the wolves? We are. We do not have anything to do with the landowners. They do not own us. They do not run us. And they do not control us. And we are the prize here. So I was looking into the wolves. What is so special about the wolves? I'm a wolf. I'm going to tell you right now, me and all people like me are wolves. We run on a different pattern. We run on a higher reality. We have activated our DNA, and we are strong, and you can't keep us down, and you can't control us. You couldn't even if you wanted to control us. It doesn't matter what you throw at us. You can't control us. We're like, screw you. We'll do what we want to do. We'll think what we want to think. Make me. And even if you kill my body, you're not controlling me. And that's the wolves. So then I said, okay, let's see who these landowners are, who own everything. Do you remember when I just did a video the other day? Maybe it was about a week or so ago, maybe 10 days, 11 days ago with Wendy, and I did it on cryptids. And I saw all these cryptids. Well, one cryptid has crept to the top, and it's the skinwalkers. The vampiric, blood-sucking skinwalkers. They would be your families. Do you remember what I said about the skinwalkers? They can be anybody because they can read your mind. They can make you believe that a piece of paper is money. They can make you believe that they're your loved ones. They can make you believe a lot of things because they have that ability. They're not shut down like the rest of us are. They are skinwalkers, and they're vampiric. Do you remember when I said that blood was a commodity? And they really need to have the blood, these vampiric skinwalkers? Well, that's the ruling families, the Rothschilds, the Bilderbergers, or whatever they're called, all of them, all of the families. And we've always been told there's 13 families. No, there's actually 15. I saw 2 other families, and they're the oldest. So I went back and I looked into these skinwalkers running our reality. They're not even human. They're skinwalkers. They came into this reality. They were put here too. And they have progressively taken over this reality through time. Do you remember that spiral I showed you? Well, they defy the spiral of time through what? Blood. Blood is keeping them alive. They're vampires. So I was thinking, okay, well, this is starting to make a lot more sense to me. What do the vampires want? They don't want the sheep's blood. The sheep's blood's not activated. They're useless. There is a group, and they're very small, that have lived for thousands of years. The vampiric skinwalker vampires. And they want, but they must have wolf's blood. Why do you think that is? They need the wolf's blood because it's got things in it activated, and one of them is to not age, but there's other things in there too, activated through the DNA that they want to use to continue their leaping through time. Yes, they leap through time, and they do it in multiple ways. They go into stasis. There's a few that are 1,000 years old that predate back to when this place was created to begin with, the snow globe. They're the fallen ones. They're the crystalline city beings that went dark. And this entire thing of this is to weed out the wolves, the harvest. What are they harvesting? The wolves. Nothing is worse than having a bunch of sheep in wolves' clothing, and you're thinking, oh, I got me a wolf. And for some reason they survived and you realize they were a sheep. Something happened, they were a sheep, and they survived because of a given scenario. Well, they're no good. We need real wolves for the harvest so they can keep living off of our blood. And this is what this has all been about. One of the things. And it goes on and on from there. So, you create a scenario where if you're a true wolf, you're going to stand up, you're going to go into cyber world, and you're going to scream on the top of your lungs, never going to happen. I'm a wolf. I will bite you. I will do whatever I have to. I will take you down. Well, we have just pointed out exactly who is targeted, who we need. The wolves, the true wolves. So that the vampiric skinwalkers, who are the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the band, what is that, Bilderberger? I always think of Build-A-Bear. And the Vanderbilts and the on and on it goes, can find the true wolves because they need our blood. They need our blood because our blood is activated. Sheep have nothing for them. They don't need the sheep. They need the wolves. This is the harvest. And this is what it's about. And this is how they've designed it. These skinwalker vampires have designed this for a very long time. They designed the corrupt system. They designed the money system. Why, when you're born, there is a commodity in your birth certificate, and that builds and builds and builds. This is also a game for them. It all goes back down to the brain and spinal cords, and there's one main brain and spinal cord, which you can call the skinwalker, which you can call the vampiric skinwalker in these families, running each snow globe. And what they do is they love gambling. They want excitement too. So they put so much money toward each being that they have enslaved through the Social Security system, put in, I mean, once you're my age, you probably have billions of dollars in there. But if you are a wolf and you are owned by one of those vampiric things, skinwalkers, your worth is off the scale. There's almost nothing that your worth isn't worth. What they are looking for is the ones, the wolves. And those are what it's all about, the harvest. So when I was looking into this, and I was looking into the monetary system and looking into the Social Security of all that money and seeing that it's a gamble on if you even get a wolf in your midst, because that's the most sought after, because of where you are spiritually. You have activated your DNA. And remember, this is a simulation. It also means that they would love to replace whoever they have, might have been a sheep in wolf's clothing, which is useless, with someone that has the foresight and the ability to create also in their AI reality. So not only for the blood, but for the creation. They want God beings to help create AI. It's a whole nasty thing, actually, when you look at it. And it's like, oh, is that how it's working? So we're the creationists. We are the blood. We are the life. We are everything. And this is why this needs to be broken. So I have things I wrote down that all of this is based in witchcraft. I do know, I was talking to Wendy the other day, and she's like, the Constitution is witchcraft too, isn't it? I said anything in cursive is witchcraft. Now you can divide it into black arts or you can divide it into white arts. The white arts is the high, the positive, to create in the essence of God. The black is satanic. So I looked into these skinwalker vampiric beings and I keep hearing necromancy. Necromancy. They're the necromancers. They're the ones that are taking us and they're half dead. If you were to see them, you would see they're half dead, if not more than dead. And they need us to keep them alive because they're dead. They're walking dead. They are dead. So I was thinking about that movie, We Live. I did see that movie. And the fact that they show dead people when he puts the glasses on, that was 100% skinwalkers, vampiric, what's going on in this reality. Necromancy. Yes, necromancy. It all comes down to witchcraft, positive or negative. The Constitution is witchcraft. It was to combat the dark arts. The Constitution was done in the white arts, white witchcraft, to protect even the sheep, because they are sheep. So you want to know why they got rid of cursive writing in school? They do not want you to have the tools to use it for the positive. This is why printing, when you print a letter, it stops in that letter. And remember, that's not our true alphabet. The cursive is a continuation. It's a flow. It's an energy flow. It's a frequency. This is why the witchcraft, whether positive or negative, is always done in cursive, because it's a full spell in each word. There's just a lot into this. So let me look at my footnotes here, because I wrote down a lot of stuff. Yeah, I've talked about almost everything on here. Yeah, the resets. The resets are the harvest for, plucking the really wolves, which are the people that cannot be ruled here or in their heart. So there it is. Let me look at the back of my footnotes real quick. I wrote a lot of this stuff down this morning, and I'm like, yeah, I've got to do a quick video on this to let everyone know what this is about. The harvest, the resets, the sim reality. We all have to get outside of the sim reality. Oh, I will tell you that it's going to end a bit different this time. We also have something in this sim called natural law, and it is an affront when it becomes too negative, which it had become too negative when you're taking free will away. Because a lot of people are like, how are we having free will? Well, we're not. We're not having free will anymore. When things are being done to the masses with black arts, it's not free will. No, it's not. The mafia media is a black art. Oh, yes, it is. It's a big-time black art, and it's all here and here. They get you through your heart, and they get you through your mind, and then they MK Ultra you. Yeah. All to go take the death, you know what? So, because you're not useful. You're not the wolf. We don't need you. We need the wolves. So, and then, of course, all this is done through time variance, which, of course, I showed in here. And it's the natural spiral, and they're the artificial one above this one. And they're using the natural spiral like a parasite because they are parasitic. And this is going to have to end. We have to end this. So I guess I won't talk too much more about it. I just wanted to make this quick video. I will be putting this into my description so you can look at the diagrams. Know that there are vampires, they're skinwalkers, which is a cryptid, who have come in and taken over this simulation. And we have to have knowledge behind what is going on so we can combat it. If you stay in the dark, you are a victim, and we're not victims here. We need to take back our reality, and it's as simple as that. So, okay, I have a couple more videos I'll be making after this one. Please, I'm glad that whoever stayed to the very end, thank you for staying, and please watch the video to the end. And if you're down here, of course, you've watched to the end. Kudos to you for wanting to know everything. All right, then, I guess on that note, I'll say everybody have a great day. As the information comes in, I shall be releasing it. All right, bye.